Okay, here's my 2013 Jeep Wrangler. It was a sport, and I did a lot of mods to it already. I have other videos that kind of show that, with 3.5-inch rough country suspension. And I also put the rough country steering stabilizer on. And I'm getting ready to pop the fenders and replace the front bumper. And this is the SRC Smittybilt front bumper I got. Of course, it came damaged, so the company I got it from sending me a new one. But I'm gonna go ahead and test fit it, and I'm gonna be putting some upgraded blinker lights to the clear instead of the amber ones that I have, and then I got some Smittybilt XRC fenders that I'll be putting on this guy. So I'll keep attaching more videos showing what it looks like before and after. Thanks. Okay, here's the first fender on the rear passenger that I took off. It was real easy. There was some clips right along through here that were easy to pop out all the way. There's an old one that I'm gonna fill in. But this is what the new fender looks like. It's not completely fastened. I only got the 2 pilot holes. It's a little tight, but I still got to put some back down in here. But real easy to take off, and it's really changing the look so far. And there's the stock setup, and that's with the rear not completely done, but and then I'll take another one when I get the front off. Okay, here's the Smittybilt SRC bumper that I had kind of showed you previously, and I got it installed. And all I had to do to take off the stock bumper was some, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some bolts right back here. You see that? Right back right here, and another one down there, and then 2 on that side. And took a 18mm socket, just pulled it off, and then just did the same thing. These had posts on it, so I just had to run them in through. And you see that post there, and then just it came with the necessary hardware, and just set it up there, leveled it out, tightened everything up, torqued it, and that's what she looks like. So next, and I also outside of that, there was a skid plate that was kind of tricky to put on right here. It attaches to the bottom side of this bumper. I actually got a spare piece. I don't know why they shipped it, but this is that piece right here. There were some bolts that went through here, right through here, and then some on the bottom side here, right there. I had to drill those out to 1/2 inch and then bolt it on the back side here. So it wasn't hard at all. Maybe a little bit heavy for one person to kind of line it up, but once I got a couple of bolts started, it wasn't too bad. So next I'm gonna put some LED lights here, and I'm gonna tie them into the actual old fog lights that were on the bumper, and that's in this wiring harness right here. This is one plug, and there's a second one, but I think what I'll do is I'll run it all to the same one and re-terminate this plug and kind of hide all these wires so you can't see them. And eventually I'll get the Fairleigh put on the front with a winch. I'm not sure what type of winch I'm going to go with yet, but I think I might go with the synthetic rope winch. Kind of like the way it looks and weatherproofing. But next I'm gonna pop those fenders off. I've already got the XRC rear fender on, And I'm gonna pop that fender off and pop that inner fender liner. And then I'm gonna put these MetalCloak fender panel replacements. I've got them all painted up with the underlayment type spray. They're aluminum, so I was kind of iffy on if I was gonna paint them or not, just leave them rough. But I decided to go with some type of black. That way if they ever chip up or get scratched, I can just take some of that spray and recoat it while it's on. And then I'm gonna also Scotch Brite or rough up the paint under here, and I'll spray that all with undercoating. All right, I just got the fender off. It wasn't too bad. I started with the inner fender. Well, there was some pop outs. Get some light over here. There was some pop outs all along through here and all along the back side. There's a screw here, another one up here on the inner fender part that was attached to this. Just unscrewed all that. There's a couple here and here and here. Got all that taken off. It was a little tricky getting the outer fender, but if you pull hard enough and make sure you don't bend this because it's real flimsy, it just snaps right off. And it came out in 3 pieces. I started with this one first, then this one second, and of course it detached the light here, and then just pulled it all off. Now on the inside there's some little rivets here, plastic rivets. I just went in there and just snipped them all off, and that loosened this piece from, let's see, which one was it? This piece. So, and that wasn't too hard at all. So what I have left now is clean this up. I'm gonna take this here. I'm gonna put these 3/4 LED. They're a churn and a daytime like running light. It's a 3-wire. Pick these up off Amazon. What I'm probably gonna do is where the XRC fender attaches on, I'm probably gonna drill through probably right here to put the blinker. Depends on how well it looks. If it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to put it there, I might put it somewhere in this location, but I'll do a video on that. But so far, it wasn't hard at all. It was just taking out all these screws. Here's my screws I took out here, and here's a few of the little snaps I had to undo. I picked up some of these pry bars on Amazon. I already broke one, but I did that when I did my radio. It comes in a package of, I think 4, but they work pretty good. Otherwise, you can probably just cut them if you ain't gonna reuse them, but I like keeping them around because they have these all over inside the Jeep, and I think if you need one, they're really hard to find unless you go to a Mopar dealership. But that's what I got so far, and I'll just keep adding away to the video. Thanks. All right, here she is, all done with this first side. And I just wanted to do this side and get it all completely done. And then that way when I tear off the other side over here, which is still on, as you can see, I'll show you how I did it. I got the XRC fender on, and I also have the MetalCloak inner fender plates in. And I also have the LED blinker, and I just got done wiring it, so I got things drying out before I put the electrical sleeve back over and tuck the wires. But here she is. And these are the stainless steel bolts that ran through this bracket right here to the back side. And it really stiffened this side of the, you can see how flimsy this is, and this is solid as a rock. And I really have to hand it to them. They got some really nice panels. And these are to go with their Fenders, but they have several guys that have gotten these and used them with other Fenders, and eventually I'll probably get MetalCloak. But this is what she looks like done. Here's kind of a front view. It's a real big difference. I like it. Looks good. Gives it that real mean, aggressive look. Okay, here's what the little LED blinker looks like when it's on. Sorry about that. There it is right there. And I'll show you what it looks like when blinker's on. Pretty nice from the side view. Kind of see what it looks like here. And I'll give you kind of a close-up on how I tied it in. I left it on. If you look here, I just took, and this is a 3-wire LED light. Basically what I did is I took the front blinker, I stripped this shield back, and then I soldered in. I stripped this wire, gave me about a space about that big, and I tied in each wire, and then I put some liquid tape on it, and then I'm going to individually wrap them after that with some electrical tape, and then wrap them all together real tight, and then sandwich all these wires back in so it's nice and clean, and then tuck them up back here where this clips back in there, and it should hide everything really well so you can't see anything from the side. I mean, you'll still see this, but it should run right up or even up along this side. I'll tie it up, but it is real simple to put together, but there's a look of it. And then this wire here is going to go way back here. But it's a real simple mod. I mean, this tab here actually held part of the inner fender well on. So basically there was a pinch clip here, the same kind of pinch clip that's up here. And I just widened that hole out, and it's a 3/4 inch LED. So it's almost like it was meant for it. Kind of looks nice there. I like it. It turned out really nice. But. Okay, here's some MetalCloak inner fenders on a 2013 JK. I'm not using the MetalCloak fenders. I'm just using the inner fender panels. It wasn't too difficult. They do not supply you with these back 2 bolts here that go through this plate, so I picked up some stainless steel ones and ran them through these XRC fenders. because for now I'm just going to roll with these, beat these up, and then later on I might get some MetalCloak fenders. But basically, this is held on by a stock location here, and then it's also held on by this bolt here. These are 3/8 by 4" stainless, and they do supply you with this here, and you have to drill that out to 2564, and which isn't too hard. It's kind of difficult to get a nut back there or something to tighten it with, but I was able to get it. And then it also uses these stock bolts here, and it protects everything the way I wanted it to be protected instead of leaving it open, especially after putting these fenders on. So, and I'll kind of show you the other side and some of the issues that I'm having. Get a light here so you can see. Okay, I've got the fender pulled off already, which there's plenty of videos to show how to pull these fenders off, so I'm not really going to go into grave detail on how to get the stock fender off. But I already have this panel on. This is the easiest panel to put on because of these stock locations and only having to drill out one hole. So the issues that I'm having with now is this wiring harness right here. So I've detached it because that panel actually sits right back here and comes down. So I'm going to see if I can't tuck these up a little bit higher up here. Plus it kind of gets them away from the heat a little bit more too. I know it's got heat shield stuff on it, so to protect it, but I do need to move this, so I might just have to relocate this a bit just to get it up so I can get my cover in here. And I still haven't drilled through here yet, but on these panels, I'll show you over here. This is the piece that goes in there. So there's some tabs right here, are like little cutouts, and right here, and that's what helped me determine where my drill hole was on the outside of here. And it just tucks in. You kind of have to separate the body panel to get it in, but once you do, you have to kind of pre-fit everything, or I have to get that XRC fender up here, I have to bolt it on, and then once I bolt it on, then I have to mark my placement, because I can't bolt everything tight because then you can't get this piece in. So what I do is, there's a notch out right here that fender can sit on, and I tighten the bolt location here and here, right here, but I don't do this one because that leaves this to flex a little bit, and plus once you have this piece in here, you cannot tighten the bolts on the back side because they're hidden behind the panel, on this panel here. So, but you can get to this one. So these two have to be tight with your fender kind of hanging here. If you have an aftermarket fender you're using that isn't MetalCloak, those are the two that you really have to be concerned with. So it's a lot of test fitting and putting it in place, and then once I get the fender, I kind of tighten everything up, and then I mark my holes where I need to drill straight across, and you can use these as guides to drill through the other side so you're straight. And then that also ties in that back panel that I was describing earlier. So I got a little bit to do yet before this side's done. I have to wire up my LED that I put in this location here, and I have another video that kind of shows what was here before. There was actually a clip here that actually held the inner fender on the stock JK, And there's like a pinch clip. So I took that clip out. I got a hole saw, and of course it's already like a stock hole like this. So I just sandwiched a piece of wood back here, held it tight, and then put my hole saw, this guy right here, and then I held that piece of wood, and then I lined it up about right where I wanted it, and then I drilled all the way through, and it wasn't hard at all. You just have to have something that will guide this hole saw, because the hole is so big, that way it doesn't walk all over on you. And there's enough space in here that I took just a regular old 2x4 like that, like this, just any old scrap piece of 2x4, and then I just pinched it right up in there. It's a perfect spot, and it holds it nice and tight. And then I just kind of held that with one hand and drilled with the other, and it was easy. It doesn't take long to get through this sheet metal. So that was fairly easy. The only part that was kind of difficult to drill out of all of this was right in here. It just takes a little bit of time because you're actually going through two pieces of metal here. But with a decent drill bit, I got a piece of crap one at my local hardware store. It was the only 2564 that they had. I think you could maybe step it up to one size bigger, which I think would still be all right. You might have to drill this out a little bit, but I just went ahead and got it because I don't have a 2564 drill bit, which I'm gonna throw that piece of crap one away anyway, so I guess I won't have one. But that's basically what I've got for the inner fender left to do. But real simple to put up. The only thing is, you know, always measure, like me, I always measure 10 or 12 times before I actually commit to drilling through anything that's going to be permanent. But hope that helped. Okay, here's the final product with everything on. Got the rear fenders on. Got the inner well sprayed with some bed liner. Fenders are all on. Tied into the fog lights. Everything kind of touched up. But this is what she looks like, all done. Got the look I wanted. Wasn't too difficult to get everything on. Just took some time just making some adjustments, especially on this front where I had put the MetalCloak inner fender wells like I showed you, getting everything to line up just right. And then those little LED side marker lights that turned out really good. Got all the wires tucked in. But I love it. Turned out real nice. And I hope you guys liked the video. I know it's kind of all over the place. I didn't really have that much help, so I kind of had to do a video and then do a bunch of changes. I wasn't able to do it all at once or set it up because I just got this phone for my camera or for the video. But thanks for watching.